Hey everybody, how's it going? Today is July 24th, 2025. It's a Thursday. You know what that means? Monster Strike news. And we are serenaded with this nice Showa style themed song, the main theme song. Um, it's just nice, the old school kind of vibes, which is pretty nice. We've got a bunch of stuff actually to go through today, so without further ado, let's get going. Hopefully you've been taking advantage of the Angel Devil box that you've been taking a part of every day. Chance for 10 orbs guaranteed, or 1% chance of 200 orbs. I went the safe route like a boring YouTuber, or not like a normal YouTuber would. And of course I have banked 60 orbs happily. If you got 200, then congrats, but hopefully you did get something out of that. Because well, actually, before we go to the next campaign, we do have something. They did announce that they were looking for somebody to help out with the Metast VTuber group to have a song. We've got Teddy Lloyd making a song. Miracle Link there is going to be the song. And that music video will be available on August 1st, 7 p.m. Japan time, if you so please. Now, campaign number 2 is the Cho Jushin Kuji. And like I was saying, Kuji is basically you're pulling a ticket and then it'll have a reward on it and you'll get that reward. Now, unfortunately, this is not free. You will have to spend some orbs, but you are going to be able to do this every day for, what is that? More than 7 days, right? So yeah, it's actually a good amount of time we're going to be able to play with this event. So basically, how this works is you're gonna have to pay to pull a ticket, right? You got the ticket, but you're not gonna be able to see what it is yet. And we'll talk about why you can't see it right away. That's kind of important. But the next day, when the next ticket is available for purchase, you will be able to see your reward, which could come in various tiers. Now, regardless of what that result is, you are guaranteed to get one Tokudama out of this, and you will be picking up one for each day just by participating. Now, of course, you have to purchase a ticket to get that Tokudama, but you will be able to get it for each day. And I do believe this is regardless of what you win as part of your ticket, right? And that Tokudama will be used for an All-Stars gacha that you can use at the end of this period. Now, what are the rewards? Well, let's take a look at the big winners. The first one is the My Best One gacha, and if you don't remember what that is you get to pick which limited monster you get. You literally pick My Best One gacha monster, which is pretty darn awesome. Now, of course, the catch is only 10 people will win this reward, so you will have to be insanely lucky to get this. But being able to pick your limited monster of choice is pretty awesome. And I guess you could pick whatever general pool monster, but ideally you are picking a limited monster for this. Now, the second tier prize is not as bad. It's still pretty darn good. It's the My Best 10 gacha, where you get to pick 10 monsters and select that pool, and you will get one of those 10 that you picked. Right? That's pretty awesome. 50 people will get that, and this is each day, right? Each day 10 people win the first prize, 50 people win the second prize. And then the third prize is a guaranteed new where limited monsters are possible, and you're guaranteed to get that. 1,000 people will win that each day. And then the fourth tier prize is just guaranteed new, no limited monsters in that, but it's still a guaranteed new monster. 10,000 people will win this tier. And then we go to the small winners. The fifth tier reward is the scroll set. 100,000 people will win that. For the sixth set, sixth tier, you'll get an item pack. Each of those items you see in there, you'll get 150k will win that. And then the seventh tier reward is a guaranteed 6-star pull. 500,000 users will get that. And last but not least is the temple quest. This will be the booby prize here. Anybody else beyond the 50k number, actually farther than the 50k, will get this. And so basically, just a reiterating of the schedule, basically starting at noon each day, that's when the tickets are open to purchase. You will buy it there, and then you will be set for the next day. Once it hits 4 a.m., when the day changes, the time from 4 a.m. to noon is a dead period. This is just a waiting period where you're just waiting to see what the results are going to be. And then the results period. When the next tickets are open, that's when you can see the results for your previous day. Right, that pale yellow line there. It doesn't have to be immediately the day after, as long as it's within the pulling period. You can pick up your reward that way. So you can see that. Now, why do we have this waiting period? And that's because the rewards are filled top down. So if there are not enough participants to fill a reward tier, then it ends there. So the example here is saying, let's say only 250k people participate in this event. Then the lowest reward tier that you will get is the 6th tier, right? Remember, we went down all the way to 8. And arguably, you might say that the 7th tier was better than the 6th tier. But but basically, if there is only 1,000 people playing, right? Like, let's say people boycotted this game for whatever, and only 1,000 people played the event, then the rewards only go up to the 3rd tier. So that's not going to happen, but just explaining that it goes top down that way, and that's why you're not going to get your reward immediately, which is generally better because, right, the booby tier will only happen if we hit, you know, given all the numbers, right? Like, you have to hit 750k, which I don't know. I actually don't know what the active population of Monster Strike is. Well, it probably is above 1 million, so I don't know. We'll see. Do all of them actually click that event? We'll see. Anyways, that's it for the campaign. We'll get to enjoy that for another week or so, and then we'll see what our next reward will be on the next news. But back to the Gundam collab. Hopefully you're enjoying that. I have still been pretty lazy about the Guardian Beast, so I need to do that. But we do have a new gacha available. This is a free Haro gacha, and basically you have an opportunity to pull on this gacha twice per day, and basically it resets at 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. at Japan time. Luckily for those of you in the Pacific time zone, that's noon and midnight. Really easy to keep track of. And basically you are just pulling to get a free item. There are 4 possible items you can get. They'll have percentages visible on the screen on which item will be at what percentage, and you'll be able to get some nice items, including a new collab monster. How this works: so one reward is always going to be a super type scroll, and then your next day the reward is going to change. If you did get the scroll, if you do not win the scroll, the chances of getting a scroll increases to 50%. If you do win the scroll, the next time the reward for the scroll goes down to 10%. So you're probably, it's gonna take a bit to get the scrolls, but you know, it's still a good probability that you should be able to collect them all with no problem. And so basically, right, you have each of the 4 super type scrolls available, and then your general items on the right side that you can pick up. And yeah, the 4 types of scrolls must be used by August 3rd. It's a use it or lose it. Please don't forget about that. The game should flash a exclamation mark if it's starting to get to the time where it'll expire. But for me, I just like to use it right away, so I just don't forget. Like, you know, I've wasted gacha pulls even, so gotta be careful about that. And I did say that we are getting a new collab monster reward, and that will be Komoli here in the wood element. She will be picked up every time you pull on this gacha. So to max luck Komoli, you just need to pull on this gacha 7 times in total. No big problem. Notable reward is those shards for the Guardian Beast. You'll get them on 6 and 10 pulls, so make sure you pick those up. Those are invaluable free pieces, and I believe this makes up for the 100 you need for Haro himself, so do not miss out on that. And because Komoli is a mission reward, you will be able to use her as a max luck monster for the duration of the collab. But that's not all. We are getting an expansion to the mission area, and basically not necessarily, we're not getting new missions, but we are getting new trust levels. If you get to 250, you are able to use that member's trust skill, I guess, in all library stages, and including in the Guardian Beast, which is actually pretty awesome to help make that go by faster. Also notable is that if you are using Nyan as your helper friend here, she will have an additional bonus where she will be able to give 1.5x drops to all other Guardian Beast quests. Remember, we already get 2x drops for it on just because of the collab being active. And I'm not sure if this stacks with that. If it does stack with that, that's pretty awesome. But I'm not sure about that. It doesn't say that anywhere. But if you are looking to collect the other Guardian Beasts, this is a great opportunity to do that, because you do not get multipliers on the general pool of monsters there. And so if you want a stockpile of shards, this is the time to do it with Nyan's ability here. But do keep in mind that 250 is going to be, you have to stock it up little by little, because there are no missions to get that big boom of trust points, right? You have to, it's just using a collab monster and spending 50 stamina to get that going. Now, if you get all 3 characters to the 300 trust level, you will be able to pick up a striker's card, as well as a special title. And here's a closer look at that striker's card. So of course, if you like the GQX series, this is something you might want to think about getting. But that's not all. We are getting a new Chokyu Kyoku event featuring Shuji Ito and Gundam GQ here, and a pretty cool character here. This is a one and done style quest, so all you need to do is clear it once, and you will get a max luck copy of this monster right away. This quest will be available 24/7 starting 7 p.m. Japan time on the 26th. And that's it for the collab news. That will probably wrap it up for the collab. There shouldn't be anything, because the next news will be just 2 days before the collab ends. So nothing to look forward to probably beyond this. Monster Strike Day, make sure you pick up all the rewards. This should be the last week that you can pick up alternate strike shot voices for Iroha. So if that's interesting to you, make sure you do that. Remember, you do not need to have her to unlock that ahead of time. And of course, as always, do not forget to log into the Gacha Lidora Lab to pick up your last boost of 50 energy for each element. Now, let's take a look at the new area that they talked about at Dream Days, the Astral Mausoleum. I am syncing this up with the English wiki that we have, and I think it's a good name. We're just ignoring the Hakai part. I'll play on destruction, and it just makes it long, so let's just call it the Astral Mausoleum here. This will be live starting from the 1st of August and last until the 21st, so you have 3 weeks to take on this new area, which will probably be difficult. We'll see. But basically, it is like the Castle and Gardens, where you have 10 stages in total, each stage having 6 battles, and you are being tracked on the number of battles you have cleared. So you do not need to necessarily clear the entire stage, but as long as you make progress, that's what you need to make to get some rewards. So exactly the same system. Now, what is different is how these quests unlock. You'll see that they come in sets of 3. So the first set will be available when you have cleared the first set is just available to start. So you have 3 different stages that you can pick from, which is nice because you won't get hard choked, bottlenecked if a quest is so difficult that you can't do it, that you're completely excluded from the rest of the area. This one will allow you to hopefully pick and choose, and at least one of them should give you some opportunities to move on, because the next set of 3 gets unlocked at just 1 battle clear. If you can clear 1 battle, then you're going to be able to get even more rewards, which is great, right? Again, they want to make sure that people can play the new area while still challenging people. The next set of 3 gets unlocked at 5 total battle clears, and the final stage gets locked at 10 battle clears, which is that. And I do want to double check that, but this should make it accessible, because the rewards that you can get is also pretty interesting, and we'll talk about that. And so the limits, the requirements to play is very much relaxed, which is something that I do like to see. It does encourage people to try it out, right? And so here are your rewards. Basically, every 3 battles you clear, you're going to get this random box. And this random box will have random rewards in them. We'll talk about that in a second. But if you hit your 30th battle clear, you will get 20 orbs instead. And if you get to the 60th clear, we'll talk about that reward. It is a new one. And of course, if you watch the trailer for this area, you probably have an idea what that is, especially given how that item looks like. So first, let's talk about a monster reward. One of the new monsters that you can get from this area is Paranovia. He is, of course, he should be the boss on the last stage as well, but pretty cool. We got like a, I don't know, vampire lizard-ish kind of guy. I don't know. But basically, every 3 battles, you're going to get this random box. And this random box will contain one of these 18 items, right? 18, and you got 2 that are specified on 30 and 60. So that's a total of 20 rewards that fills out the full 60 battles. So you can get 5 copies of Paranovia. And there are 2 sets of him in the box. Obviously, the Connect skill is very attractive. 2 EL Wakumins. Biscuits are always nice, and of course that 100 Shinjushika gems, that's always good to see. But this does make it random, so it's not like you can be like, all right, I got to 15 clears, I'm good, I don't need to care about it anymore. You may have to, keep going to get the rewards you want, which may be a little bit of a downgrade for some people, but it also means anything that was at the end scale, you have a chance to get earlier on as well, so maybe it balances out. But you saw that golden Ableberry scroll. We're going to call it the Great Ableberry Scroll, right? The Dai Eiyu no Sho, they're calling it in Japanese. So the Great Ableberry Scroll here, it will basically unlock a 4th slot for a monster that already has 3 slots available. So you have to basically use the first Ableberry Scroll to unlock the 3rd, and then this one will unlock the 4th. You can't just skip to get that 4th there. So, and people were speculating this was happening even before the trailer came, right? We saw that the UI was adjusted such that space would be available for a 4th Ableberry slot, and of course after the trailer happened, it was basically guaranteed that that's what the reward was. So you will be able to pick this up, but of course you need to completely clear the entire new area in the mausoleum. So probably not going to be easy, but something to look forward to try, and I'm sure it's going to be on the harder side to get all 60 battles cleared. There's an additional reward, and why I'm saying it's going to be really hard to clear is because the focus of these rewards are on the first half of each stage. You will be able to earn one shard piece as long as you clear all 10 battle 1s, battle 2s, and battle 3s. What this means is, to be able to get the free gacha pulls, all you need to do is clear all the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd battles, which, if you have the monsters, should be doable. Reliably. Okay, reliably maybe is stretching it, but I do think they want to incentivize people to play this and take it on. It'll still be on the harder side, don't get me wrong, but it will push people because all you need to do is be able to get through the first half of each stage, and then for people who want to clear everything, the challenge is there to finish everything off in the second half, because all the rewards are front loaded in the first 3 battles, which is nice. Every 3 shards that you pick up, you will be able to turn that into a gacha pull, and the gacha pull that you will be pulling on depends on how many shards you have collected. And basically you have the general pool. Oh, and of course, remember for the castle and the gardens, they had a thing where all monsters are, have been born after this year. For this, it's after 2024, which is really nice, right? This is a nice paring down of the gacha pool, which this game desperately needs, given how big the general pool is, right? So on your 3rd, 6th, and 9th, skipping 12th, 15th, 18th, and 21st shard collection, you will be able to get a gacha pull on the general pool of 2024 plus monsters. Once you get your 12th shard, that will upgrade that gacha to a limited possible gacha, where you have the pool from 2024, but also including limited monsters. And of course, if you get to 24 shards, which means you've played this diligently, completely for 8 full months, that will allow you to pick up a guaranteed limited monster that was born after 2024, which is pretty nice. So, really cool area. We'll just have to see how difficult it is. It's gonna be hard to say. It should be on par with the gardens and castle, I say, maybe even harder. I would be wary of panels at this point, speed down panels, but we'll see how that fares. You will be able to pick up a special title once you hit all 60 battle clears. So if that's something you want to aim for, that's great. And for those of you who are overachievers as well, if you can clear all 60 in the first appearance, there's a special mission which will give you a special title that you can show off to the world that you finished this on the first appearance. This of course will be only available on the first appearance. So if you can do it, great. If you can't, it's a title. Don't worry about it. And interesting note here is that with this new area, the version 30.0 update will push the castle and the garden to the challenge area, which does mean it will always be available at any time you want to play this. What's going to be interesting is what happens to the rewards there, right? Because this was a monthly reset kind of thing. What does that mean for the EX rewards? It's an interesting change in the way the game is going to be played for the high tier people. So we'll have to see how those change, and we will get more details on that inevitably when the next update is coming out soon, which is in the middle of August, they said. So we'll have to see how things are going to go there. Ugh, I don't know. Now, for those of you who are interested in YouTube streams, they will be doing a live stream for 5 days in a row, starting from the 1st at about 6 p.m. each time and lasting for 4-ish hours. And basically, our goal is, as a community, right, we're going to try to increase our battle clears and fill up a gauge for additional rewards. And so, you know, you probably do want to play during this event. And we kind of see what kind of additional rewards we can get for clearing this new area. I have to see what kind of levels they set and if it's reasonable or not. So we'll have to see. Jushin Kakai. First we have Hurricane. Sure, I mean, it is 4 nulls, which is nice, right? Barrier, gravity barrier, damage walls at the super level, speed down wall at the super level, and anti-block. Speed down wall is nice to see. Counter killer also cool. Requirement not too bad. Two non-demi-humes and 2 non-balances. Strike shot is bash and does more damage with more enemies on screen. And bump combo, we got Chozetsu Energy Blast and Ground Blast available. So cool. And then Yoshida showing, they actually kind of teased her on Twitter with a nice little anagram? Not anagram. It was some kind of like coded message that they had. And you could figure out that they were pointing to Yoshida showing. Interesting, they only gave her 2 abilities on the main. She does have 3 total, but they're all 4 total, sorry. But they're all the old, oh sorry, I misspelled wall boost. That should be boost. Requirements very easy, so shouldn't be a deal, and basically necessary, right? You're not going to do anything without just 2 super nulls. Having 4 though is nice, along with wall boost. I don't know if she's going to be shining anywhere. She does have synergy with Chio Alpha, so that might be tickling some people for maybe the new area. Strike shot, speed power up, extra damage to shields and drones. Bump combo, Chozetsu Pierce homing 18 with super Pierce fan spread 10. And that's it for news. This has run really long, I know, I'm sorry guys. Here's the calendar for the next week. If you were looking forward to the summer gacha that is available to pull, hopefully you don't forget to, hopefully you finished off the tower already. Uncharted Dunes is also about to wrap up too, so don't forget about that. And then, of course, the Haro Gacha will start tomorrow, and as well as starting the pulls for the Chojushin Kuji. Make sure you don't forget about that. It does cost 5 orbs, so it is up to you to decide if it's worth it or not. But the prospect of those gachas does seem pretty nice, and you do get a Tokodama, so you do get a pull out of it, which you would probably have spent those orbs on anyway. So it's okay, I think. So don't miss out on that. And of course, next week is going to be the big one. It does say keep an eye on that on the top right in blue, so you do not want to miss that. It says a max of 400 probably orbs. That counter does have many other usages, but it would be pretty crappy of them if it wasn't actually orbs. So I would look forward to that. So don't miss out. And the place, this is the best place to make sure you don't miss out in English. Next news, oh cute, they have it in the old school style. Same time as usual next week, July 31st at 4 p.m. Japan time. And here are your next lucky monsters. Hopefully you have 3 or more to maximize your rewards. And whew, that is it for me today. Thank you for watching. If you're still here, thanks for sticking around, and listening to all the news. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe, as I will definitely appreciate that. Monst on Twitter/X has all the news that you saw here, also available at any time. Ooh, sorry. And of course, the Discord channel link to the server is in the description below. That's it for me today. Thank you for watching. Until next time, bye bye.